This is the intrinsic part of what Paul is teaching us. Now, if we receive these benefits, these gifts from God, when you receive something that you don't deserve, that you didn't earn, back, look at grace and mercy. We can think about grace, as I've said so often, what we what we received that we did not earn, we do not merit. And mercy is what we should have gotten, but we didn't get because of the goodness and the grace of God. So if God gives us gifts, talents, whatever it is, I'm sure that Paul would be the first to say that the things that he outlined it could be expanded. And I'm sure that he might say that that's just a sampling. God blesses us in so many ways, with so many things. But if those things are given to us freely, what is, what is there to boast about? I think for myself, I think people, regardless of their status, I think we literally need to tremble with reverence and pray about what God has given us, and He has given us something. God forbid if He should take it away, make us be unable to exercise it, to use it. I call that kindness. I said that after God has blessed us, and He allows us to use the blessing, I call that kindness. What world would it be to be given a blessing and not be able to use it? And which brings us to another thought, that what God gives us, He gives us to benefit others. And that in itself ought to make us. These lines maybe we could concentrate on tonight. For by grace given to me, wow, Paul is saying, even as I speak to you about this, it's by the grace of God. It's by the grace of God that makes me able to transmit this to you, tell you about this, to encourage you. It's by the grace of God. It's not of me, Paul is saying. So I think when he says, Sister, everyone who is among you, not to think more highly of yourself than what one ought to think, but to think sensibly as God has apportioned a measure of faith to each one. It's an interesting concept. To be sensible with one another. Think through things, think things through. Be fair-minded, but most of all, don't think that you're better than anybody, regardless of what your gift may be. And your gift may be different from somebody. That doesn't mean that your gift is more important. And sometimes we can't even recognize the the gift that God has given us. And sometimes we fail to recognize other people's gift because we might be too puffed up with our own. But look at this. God has a function. Some translation that God has given us a nature to pray. That always intrigued me. It's just something that just blow my mind. I don't even know if I can fully express it, but I understand at least this much, that whatever gift God may give us, I'm trying not to confine this just to gift, because sometimes I think we need to elaborate this passage beyond talents, beyond aptitude, beyond skills. I think we need to broaden it to, to people, for instance, who are able to encourage others, people who do things for each other, people who go out their way for each other, as Jesus would tell us. Not so much being a big preacher or a big speaker. No, no, no. A measure of faith could be seen as what we may not consider important or even a gift that others may have. A proportion, a measure of faith is important. As I think about how when 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 the things that we buy today, we buy it in the pound, several ounces of this and that come packaged already. As I think about, and many parts of the world is still that way, that thing will come in bulk and it has to be measured up. And that's the weight of the scale, whether it be flour or sugar or whatever. God, the thing is that what Paul is saying, we all get what is a half pound, quarter of a pound, regardless of how you might see your gifts, your talents. And I think in here, we have to include attitude, because that's what he's talking about when he talks about reasonable service and renewal of your mind. We are given the same amount. It's proportional. What we need. But when you proportion it, it's relatively the same amount. So God has treated us fairly. He really has not been biased in how he gives out his benefits. And again, that's what ought to make us humble, and that's what ought to make us appreciate each other. Some of the greatest accomplishments in life, both what people do as a Christian and what they do just as a human being, so to speak, are unheralded, not written about, not talked about, not publicized, things that we don't know. God knows. In fact, some of the greatest accomplishments that have been made have come by somebody humbly, somebody quietly working behind the scenes. Somebody encouraging, somebody supporting, somebody exhorting, somebody helping, somebody else who end up getting the great recognition. But oftentimes people don't get recognition on things that they have accomplished all by themselves. Even if it came from an encouraging word, we are supported in so many ways. And I guess if I could speak for Paul, which of course I can, you might say, well, you know, what I'm really including here is the unheralded heroes, the unsung heroes. But I'm heralding here that ought to make us be humble. To some of the great souls that have made a difference in people's lives, in our own lives. We could only go by and thank everyone that we ought to thank. And we don't even know a lot of times the people who are helping and supporting us. I have come to recognize that in my life. Some things that I suspected, something that I know about, something that I just stumble on. Lots of people support us behind the scenes, even with good thoughts and well wishes. I've told this story before, and I think I ought to tell it again. I've been told it for many, many years. And I guess it comes to mind because recently I was looking up some stuff and stumbled across some things that in the family. And remember what my mother told me, told us. She said, your father was a very influential person. And he did a lot of things for a lot of people. And, you know, recently I was going through some stuff and I said, this is like a connection that has to do with my grandfather. It looks that way. Yes, yes, yes. I don't know all the things. My mother didn't get into details. Maybe I should have asked her some questions. But I do remember very clearly when as a young man starting out my retail business at Co-Foster and myself, we rented this place upstairs, a very fashionable street. We didn't have any fashionable store, but someone rented us a place upstairs on one of those fashionable stores. And it wasn't a store per se, it was just a little kind of like a warehouse. Right? We buy stuff at wholesale and retail it. In fact, it came to a point where I had people going around selling these things. knocking on people's door. So it wasn't so much a store that people came to. One or two people came, but most of it was distributing these shirts and other type of food, and it was a wonderful experience. But I wanted to expand it, but I didn't say too much about it. I was just contented getting by. But there was a man that used to talk to me in the afternoon as we sat on the balcony, so to speak, in the apartment where we lived, in the neighborhood. Talk all kind of things. And one day, he said to me, he said, I knew your family. I knew your grandfather. And so, I don't know, maybe months went by or something like that. And lo and behold, he said, I want to give you something. Might help you. Make a long story short, he gave me some, quite a bit of money, and I tried to give it back to him. He said, no, 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 no. It's already paid. And I always have always said, it had to be that my grandfather did something for this man. And I guess that's what I get out of it. That's tonight, some of it, and what you might have gotten out of it. You need to be so hungry because a lot of the benefits that we receive from God comes through order, comes through the humility of order, comes through the blessings of order. And we ought not to boast about it because it's not us. It's we are the recipient of blessings that God has proportionately given others. And if nothing else, that ought to make us very. So let us continue to pray for each other, lift each other up, encourage each other, and let us not be in competition with each other. God is so wonderful to us. And just that for the Lord, our God has been so good to us, ought to make us humble and humble before and to each other. Amen. Thank